Kashila Makantanga Pila Maya Yellow Hey Chandupa Wakacha Maya Kuelo Pila Maya Yellow Hey We chose Aniwa Maya Kucha Pila Maya Ye Pila Maya Yellow Hey. Grandfather, thank you for the pipe that you have given us. Grandfather, thank you for the life that you have given us. Dakota, Wa'umspe, Leah, I teach the Dakota language. I've been to one boarding school where we were not allowed to speak. It was a merit-demerit system, and we were punished for speaking our language.
Due to the boarding schools, my parents would not speak the language to us. But even though they didn't speak to us, we still kind of heard a few words here and there. But I didn't know my language.
I am proud of that I am Lakota, being raised by my grandparents and learning our ways, our history, which was kept in our privacy of our homes and are now on books, and now we can teach it to our children without having to be afraid that we're going to be punished. And it's been a long struggle, and now the government has put money into teaching our ways to our children that we were forbidden to do and without being punished. And now our children are running around speaking it and singing the songs and knowing who they are. They have Lakota names. And that makes me feel proud to see, as young as they are, they know who they are.
In order to revive an endangered language, the most efficient way to bring it back is to create more speakers. And teaching children how to speak is one of the most direct ways that one can do that, apart from learning it yourself.
Children, when they're young, they will retain everything that is taught to them, and they will not forget. Oko ihanka is weekend. Oko is weak. So we always say, Oko ihanka taya yuhaya. We always say, have a good weekend.
Prior to the pandemic, when we were still teaching in person, you would still hear some English. A lot of the kids would communicate with each other in English a lot of the time. And because we have two languages in this school, Ojibwe and Dakota, a lot of the staff's common language will be English, unfortunately. So perhaps if we were in separate buildings or something, it would be a little easier to enforce immersion or target language only. There is some English, but we have other rules surrounding that, such as trying to keep it at a whisper and no English in the target language area hallways, and whenever there's a visitor who isn't a speaker of the language, they just try to stay inina. They try to be quiet and speak softly or not at all.
We've got to continuously develop the new talent and the teachers that are going to come after us. Myself, I'm not old, but I'm not like young anymore. So, we have to think, well, who's coming next? And start looking at those people and say, oh, this person has the qualities. They could make a great teacher, or they could be great at making curriculum, or they could be great as a community outreach. And look at those people and start training them to be the next generation, so that when we get to retirement age, that we know we did a good job and we're leaving the language in good hands.
I want to be fluent, but not for me per se. I want to be fluent for friends and family and relatives, like future generations. And so that's why I feel like even though I'm not quite as fluent or proficient as I want to be, I try to teach whenever I can because there are plenty of other people who don't have a starting basis. And I feel like I kind of have this almost like a responsibility, and sometimes that's really heavy to have, but there's almost this responsibility of passing at least whatever little that I know, because someday it might not be there, you know? So, for example, one of our elders, Danny Seaboy, he just passed away, and he was huge in the Dakota culture language world. Yeah, he was huge. And that's just like heartbreaking, you know? But that's why I feel like for me, my goal is to learn as much as I can and pass it on.
We deserve sovereignty at every level, and education is a very big part of that. And the language is one of the biggest indicators of a sovereign nation. So it's important for not only us second language learners to understand more about the Dakota way of looking at the world, but also for us to be an independent nation and to decolonize ourselves.
There's a lot that goes into being a Dakota person. It might not necessarily just be languages or culture and life ways and everything like that, but the language is definitely probably the center of it.
This is our language, and it's our responsibility to keep it going. And if we don't, nobody else is going to do it.